But this world is filled with events, and sometimes a mother's loving and compassionate nature turns into cruelty and oppression. Today's story is about such a mother who, under the pressure of circumstances, burned her obedient son. I request you to watch this video till the end. Once, in a village, there lived a girl named Zainab. She was beautiful and intelligent, but her life lacked happiness. She married a merchant who appeared prosperous but had a harsh demeanor. After marriage, when Zainab moved to her in-laws' house, she found no joy there. Her husband never spoke to her lovingly, gambled, and always neglected her. He would often shout at her and humiliate her over trivial matters. Yet Zainab remained patient and never retaliated. Time passed, and they were blessed with a son named Ali. Even after the birth of her son, Zainab's fate did not change. Her husband continued to mistreat her, and she endured his cruelty. One day, Zainab's husband left with a trade caravan and died in an accident on the way. All the responsibilities of the household fell on Zainab. She started sewing clothes to make ends meet. After her husband's death, the softness and compassion in Zainab's heart faded. She began venting her anger on her son. Ali was still very young, and from his childhood, Zainab treated him harshly. She would beat him over minor issues, keep him hungry, and robbed him of his innocent childhood. Ali's face always carried sadness, but he never spoke against his mother. He endured everything silently, thinking it was his destiny. The villagers started calling Zainab a cruel mother, because stories of her harshness and cruelty were on everyone's lips. Time passed, and Ali grew up to be a kind-hearted, brave, and hard-working young man. He worked in the fields all day, and when he returned home tired in the evening, his mother would scold and taunt him. Zainab's behavior shattered Ali's heart, but he always remained silent. When Ali got married, Zainab started targeting his wife with her cruelty. She would constantly blame her daughter-in-law, calling her foolish and incompetent. She would find faults in her cooking and household management and humiliate her. One day, Zainab told Ali's wife, "You are not worthy of my son or this house. Because of your incompetence, we are always troubled. I can no longer tolerate you in this house." She pressured Ali to divorce his wife. Ali always ignored his mother's demands, but eventually he gave in and went to his wife. With tears in her eyes, Ali's wife said, "I try my best to keep your mother happy and serve her in every way, but she has never accepted me." Ali replied, "How can I divorce you without any fault? Go to your parents' house so I don't have to inflict this cruelty on you." His wife packed her belongings and left for her parents' home. Ali was deeply heartbroken by his wife's departure. He became silent, like a dried-up tree that had accepted it would never bloom again. He worked all day, but the spark in his eyes was gone. The villagers sympathized with him, but no one dared to confront Zainab due to her bitter tongue. One day, an old woman known for her wisdom visited the village. Everyone, including Zainab, respected her. When the old woman learned about Zainab's behavior, she went to meet her. She said, "What kind of mother are you? Do you know the whole village speaks ill of you? Aren't you afraid of God? You not only mistreat your son, but also drove his wife away. Do you realize how much your son respects you?" But Zainab remained unaffected. She replied harshly, "Respect? He is my son. He has to respect me." The old woman then went to Ali and said, "Son, your mother has some bitterness in her heart. You may not know the hardships she faced before your birth and after your father's death. The responsibilities made her harsh. I advise you to be patient and pray for her. God will reward your patience one day." Ali followed her advice, but the more he tried to please his mother, the more her behavior turned hostile. The villagers began avoiding Zainab, and stories of her cruelty reached the ruler's court. The ruler summoned Zainab. Terrified, she appeared before him. The ruler said, "I have heard much about you. What kind of mother are you? A mother is supposed to be a blessing for her children, but your behavior is the opposite. Do you know how a mother's cruelty wounds her child's heart and what its consequences can be? Zainab stood silently, listening. The ruler continued. A ruler is like a mother to his state, and the people are his children. If a ruler oppresses his people, they may endure it initially, but when oppression crosses limits, they revolt. If that happens, the ruler and his kingdom are destroyed. Your son is obedient. Are you waiting for the day he rebels and starts hating you? These wise words struck Zainab's heart. For the first time, she reflected on her actions. When she returned home, she couldn't sleep all night. The next day, she apologized to Ali and begged him to bring his wife back. Seeing his mother's change of heart, Ali fell at her feet and wept. He went to his wife and brought her home. Zainab dedicated the rest of her life to her children's happiness. Friends, this story teaches us that cruelty always leads to destruction. Some endure oppression out of fear, while others bear it with wisdom. But when oppression exceeds limits, even the weakest rise against it. Love, compassion, and justice are the paths that unite hearts. Dear friends, how did you find today's story? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you.